All right, shalom, good morning. Hello to Israel. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm back this week with a new lesson for you. Last week I could not speak because Esau was attacking me, but my voice did heal and I did get my voice back, so I'm going to do a lesson on today's Sabbath day, or Shabtha day. Before I start the lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Illaya, the Most High, via his son, Al-Meshikha, the Anointed, who died for Israel's sins, and the Rukha, the Holy Spirit that guides us through our lives. Love and respect to the elect, the 144,000, that is Israel, or the New Jerusalem, that is. You'll have to excuse me, I'm still getting my voice back. If I clear my throat a lot this lesson, please excuse me. All right, so today's Shabtha lesson is going to be called Satan/Esau, forcing us into our own demise. The Spirit of Cain revealed. So we're going to be talking today about the Spirit of Cain. Excuse me. All right, so characteristics of the Spirit of Cain and Esau. Let's go and start there. The Spirit sheds innocent blood. You know, we've seen it all throughout society. The cops killing innocent people, the military killing innocent people, Esau in general killing innocent people with his weapon. They target unsuspecting, vulnerable victims. Just look up the keyword targeted individuals. They do target us, and they mostly target Israelites. They target some other people from other nations, but all those other people usually sell out because they don't have the spirit that the Israelites have. The origins of the spirit of Cain are hatred, envy, jealousy, deceit, pride, and competition. Worst of all would be acute selfishness, as demonstrated in Genesis chapter 4, verse 9, which says, Cain said to the Most High, "Am I my brother's keeper?" We're going to get to that in a few seconds here. This spirit is also two-faced and cowardly. This spirit will stab you in the back as soon as it gets a chance. Because remember, it's jealous, it's envious, its origins are hatred, and its origins are deceit. So the spirit will pretend like it's your best friend, but it will stab you in the back. And everybody is susceptible to the spirit. The spirit is also superficial, shallow, petty, refuses to accept responsibility, lives in denial, always looking to justify its evil behavior. It's greedy. It's lives its life for money. The meaning of Cain, the actual word, the name Cain, means possession or acquisition. So it is a greedy spirit. And this spirit also makes crap offers and wonders why they aren't accepted. So I'm dealing with a lot of these different spirits coming towards me, and I just try to overcome them the best that I can. So you have two double thumbs down. We don't want the spirit in our lives. We don't want to be around the spirit. So let's go to the lesson. First scripture, Cain, the world's first murderer. Let's read Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Verse 5, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Verse 6, and the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Verse 7, if thou doest well, shall it not be lifted up? And if thou doest not well, sin coucheth at the door, and unto thee is its desire, but thou mayest rule over it. So sin you can rule over, as you see in Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. Excuse me. All right, so verse 8. And Cain spoke unto Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Verse 10. And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Verse 11. And now cursed art thou from the ground, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. So in that chapter 4 of Genesis, it clearly shows us that the spirit is waiting at the door, waiting to creep into your body and to rule your life. And this is what happened to Cain. He had jealousy, he had hatred, he had envy, all of the characteristics we talked about. And then, worst of all, he had acute selfishness. After he killed his brother, he actually replied to the Most High, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? So you can clearly see what the spirit is like. The spirit of Satan that gets into your life and makes you become this horrible person. And this is what it did to Cain. Through jealousy, deceit, pride, and envy, and all these horrible characteristics. So let's move on with the lesson now that we understand that. Let's go down to Hebrews chapter 11. It gives us a clue as to why Cain's offering was rejected. By faith, Abel brought the Most High a better offering than Cain did. Abel had faith, and by conclusion, Cain did not. Cain did not receive the approval of the Most High because his heart was not right with the Most High. Without faith, it is impossible to please the Most High. So let's read those verses. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 4. By faith, Abel's offering of sacrifice unto the Most High was preferred more than that of Cain, because it was a testimony of righteousness. The Most High testifying concerning his offering also because of this, while dead he spoke. Let's jump down to verse 6. But without faith, mankind isn't able to be pleasing to the Most High. For the one who offers to the Most High is obligated that he shall believe he exists. And trust me, I believe he exists. And those who seek for him, he rewards. Excuse me. So as you can clearly see, the reason why Abel was favored is because he had faith that the Most High exists and Cain did not. So Cain was rejected. So if you don't have faith, you cannot serve the Most High. That's as clear as it's going to get. You have to have faith to serve the Most High. All right, so now that we understand that, let's go down to John chapter 3, 1 John chapter 3, verse 11. Brothers, let's not be like Cain. Let's check ourselves. Verse 11 says, because this is the command which you heard from before, that you shall love one unto another. Verse 12, not like Cain, that one who was of the evil one and killed his brother. And because of what he did, he killed him. And because of what did he kill him? Only because that one's works were evil, and of his brother's righteous. So his brother Abel was righteous and Cain was evil, and then Cain slew up against him because he was jealous that he got the approval. So you see, jealousy, deceit, envy, hatred, It all works in its own way. It's all its own spirit that works together, that consumes your life. And this is what First John is saying. Verse 13, and don't be amazed, my brothers, if the world has hatred for you. And trust me, if you're a holy man, the world is going to hate you for no reason. You know, I serve the Most High, but in my free time, I'm a weightlifter. And sometimes I kickbox, and the world hates me for that. Like, why do you even care? Why do you care what I do? Why do you even follow me? Why do you look at my videos? It's because they know I'm a holy man and I'm a righteous man. You know, I'm not a perfect man. Nobody is. Nobody's perfect. I have my flaws, and I admit them. But still, these people follow me and they hate me. You know? And I'm here just to overcome that. So, you know, all of their hatred is just going to come back onto them. It serves them no purpose. You know what I hate? I hate that they're allowed to bother me so much. I hate that they're allowed to attack me because they don't like me. I hate that these silent weapons exist. You know, it's one thing for a person to hate you. It's another thing for a person to attack you time after time. With silent weapons, energy weapons. Because they hate you, because you refuse to sell out to them. Or because you refuse to be like them. That's what I hate. All right, so let's move on with the lesson. Beware of false doctrines. Let's read Jude chapter 1, verse 4. For certain men have crept in among you unnoticed, unholy ones who were designated long ago for condemnation. They turn the grace of the Most High into a license for immortality, and they deny our only master, Al-Meshikha. You jump down to 11. Woe to them! They have traveled the path of Cain. They have rushed headlong into the error of Balaam. They have perished in Korah's rebellion. And when you read that, woe unto them, woe means tribulation is coming for them. Woe means destruction is coming to them. And this is what Luke chapter 6 is talking about. Woe unto all of them. Those who laugh now, those who are rich and wealthy. Destruction is coming for them. It is at the door. You do not want to have the spirit of Cain and be like them. We all have to check ourselves. Because in the next part of the lesson, I'm going to teach that Israelites had the spirit of Cain. Yes, our forefathers had the spirit of Cain. So we all have to check ourselves. Excuse me. All right, so let's read it. Israelites had the spirit of Cain. Everyone is susceptible. Excuse me. Let's read Genesis chapter 37, verse 18 through 34. Verse 18 says, and this is talking about the Israelite Joseph, son of Jacob. Verse 18, and they saw him afar off, and before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. That sounds like the spirit of Cain. That sounds like exactly what Cain did, right? Verse 19, and they said one unto another, behold, this dreamer cometh. You know, because they were the Israelite brothers, Judah and everyone except for Reuben, basically, was jealous of Joseph because he had this dream where everybody was bowing to him. Even his mother and father. You know, so they had this, the spirit of Cain, they had this envy and this jealousy towards him. Verse 20, come now therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into one of the pits, and we will say, an evil beast has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. So these are Israelites saying this. Israelites plotting murder and lying about it. I'm telling you, man, if you let this spirit into your life, it will take over. Even the most holy people, even the chosen people, it will take over. But as the Lord said in Genesis chapter 4, verse 7, and if thou doest not well, sin coucheth at the door, and unto thee it is its desire, but thou mayest rule over it. So we have the ability to rule over this spirit of Cain from entering into our lives. And we just have to look at what our feelings are and why we have this dislike towards people. Me, I dislike Esau because Esau is trying to force me to be like him through oppression and through targeting and through energy attacks, silent weapon attacks. I actually physically get attacked. That is why I hate Esau. It's not because I'm jealous of him. It's not because I envy him or anything like that. You know, this is his blessing. Good for him. Live it out. Live the best you can. I don't care. It's not, my kingdom is not of this world. I don't care about Esau. If Esau did not bother me, I would care less about him. So you have to check why you dislike people. Because if you don't, the spirit of Cain will get into you just like it did to the Israelites. So let's continue on. Verse 21, and Reuben heard it and delivered him out of their hand and said, let us not take his life. Verse 22, and Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, but lay no hand upon him, that he might deliver him out of their hand to restore him to his father. So you see, Reuben had the righteous spirit and saved his brother Joseph from his other brothers, from his jealous brothers. 24, and they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. 25, and they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a caravan of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and ladanium, going to carry it down to Egypt. Excuse me. 26. And Judah said unto his brother, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? 27. Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother, our flesh, and his brethren hearken unto him. So meaning all the other Israelites agreed. And there passed the Midianites, the merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. 30. And he returned unto his brother and said, the child is not, and is for me. Whither shall I go? 31. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a he-goat and dipped the coat in the blood. So you can see how they're, conspiring to lie to their father. Verse 32. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it into their father, and said, this have we found. Know now whether it is thy son's coat or not. Verse 33. And he knew it, and said, it is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn in pieces. 34. And Jacob rent his garments, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. So you can see that the spirit of Cain took over the Israelites. Not only were they plotting to kill him, Reuben saved him, but then they sold him to the Ishmaelites, and then they plotted and successfully lied to their father. And then his father, Jacob, was in mourning, or Israel was in mourning. So going back to the characteristics, I'm going to highlight them. Hatred, envy, jealousy, deceit, pride, competition, cowardly spirit, two-faced, superficial, shallow, petty, refuses to accept responsibility, lives in denial, always looking to justify its evil behavior. Judah did that. He tried to justify its evil behavior during those scriptures. And on top of that, they gained possession out of selling their brother. What was it, 15 pieces of silver? 15 shekels? So that right there shows you that everybody, not just Esau, everybody is susceptible for getting the spirit into their body, and it takes over them. Excuse me. You know, as I've said before, I'm still getting over this sickness, so I still have to clear my sinuses. It's not even a sickness, it's an attack that they did on me for like 3 to 4 days straight. But anyway, back to the lesson. So you can see that the spirit gets into everybody. You know, we've all made lies to cover up what we've done, but a lot of us have been sanctified, removed from that. We live our lives in truth. So if you've done that before and you've been sanctified, just move on. Just continue your life and live it as righteous as you can. You've been separated and sanctified for a reason. All right, so moving on. Now that we understand this, that everyone is susceptible for the spirit of Cain, the evil spirit, let's understand that the Most High uses this evil spirit to do his work on his left hand. Let's read 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19. Verse 19, and he said, therefore hear thou the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all of the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. Verse 20, and the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Verse 21, and there came forth the Spirit, and stood before the Most High, and said, I will entice him. So you see, the Spirit is the left hand of the Most High. And I'm highlighting it right now. So this evil spirit does work for the Most High. It completes all of the works that the Most High ordains it to do. And when it does not successfully complete its work, it is used to test us. And sometimes I feel like it's trying to force me into my own demise. And this is why I'm doing this lesson today. Because I know this spirit exists, and I know this spirit is against me, but you know, my point is, why is it trying to force me into my own demise? And I'm going to get to that later. But let's continue on. Read verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, whereth? And he said, I will go forth, and will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. So this spirit on his left hand will be the lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt prevail also. Go forth and do so. So clearly, this spirit works on the Lord's left hand, and clearly this spirit is a lying, hateful, deceitful spirit that we do not want to let into our lives. This is why whenever I make a mistake, I correct my mistake immediately. I do not want to be a deceitful person that teaches. There are too many damn Israelites out there that teach nonsense. RFID chips. America is the Holy Land. Africa is the Holy Land. Sabbath is on a Sunday, or Sabbath is on a new moon day. You know, there's too many damn deceitful Israelites out there. I do not want to be a part of them, so I will not be a part of them. If I make a mistake, I will correct my mistake. I can assure you that. I work with all humbleness for the Most High. I'm just a servant. I don't call myself anything other than a servant for the Most High. I do not overstep my boundaries. This is the most important thing that we're involved with as Israelites, is being the Most High's servant. You know, just because I set world records doesn't mean anything to the Most High. Me being a faithful servant means everything to the Most High. It means I love the Most High. Again, we show the Father that we love him by keeping his commandments and not being liars or deceivers. All right, so moving on. So this is the whole reason why I made the lesson, because I spent last week living through hell. I was attacked for hours and hours and hours at a time, with pulses on my head and pulses on my throat and pulses on my sinuses, and which are on the left and right side of your ears, or on your head. They can attack all of these points on your body and make all of their accomplishments happen, like make you sick, or the illusion that you are sick. It's just an attack. You aren't sick. They're just attacking you. They can give you headaches. They can give you all kinds of aches. Trust me. And they do it to me because I refuse to be like them. This is why I despise them. This is why I can never work for them, because I know how evil they are. I know how unlawful they are. There's no law with these people that have this spirit. So you look at this video, me talking to this Edomite that bothers me at the gym, and you're wondering, why does this guy hate Esau so much? Well, they're trying to force me to be like them. That's why I hate them. If they just said hi and bye and everything was fine and I wasn't attacked, and you know, they weren't trying to force me to be a sinner, I would be cordial to them. But I hate them because they're trying to force me to be like them. They're trying to force me to take the spirit of Cain that I refuse. That's why I hate them. You have to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at a video and say, "Oh, this guy's insane. He's a racist." No, I'm not a racist. I mean, to a degree, you know, the Most High is a racist. If you read Romans chapter 9, verse 13. I despise them specifically because they're trying to force me to take the spirit. Not tempt me, force me. Those are two different types of interpretation, or two different types of enticements. I don't know the exact word for it, but if you tempt a person, you're tempting him. It's like you have a pretty woman showing her cleavage or whatever, and she's trying to tempt you. But if you have somebody holding a gun to your head trying to force you to do something, that's a whole different ball game. You see what I'm saying? That's why I hate Esau. He's literally trying to hold his gun to my head, trying to force me to be like him. That's why I hate him. I don't have the spirit of Cain. I know what I'm dealing with, and I deal with it every day. You know, I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent on a lesson where I'm supposed to be serving the Father, but this is my own testimony. This is what I'm going through. I don't hate Cain. I don't hate Esau because I envy him. I could care less what he has. This is not my kingdom. I believe it's John chapter 16. My kingdom is not of this world. That is how I live my life. I could care less what Esau has. I don't hate him for what he has. I'm not envious of what he has. I hate him because he tries to force me to take the spirit of Cain. That is it. So let's go to the point. Can you be forced into your own demise? This is one thing I've been wondering over and over and praying about, asking for some sort of answer, and I finally received it. So let's read Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Verse 10 says, "Be afraid in none of those things that you will suffer. Behold, the devil will throw some of you into prison to be tested, and you will have suffering for 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life." So that there answers the question. And I'm using the Septuagint on this scripture specifically. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. So there is no Esau forced me into my own demise. Esau is going to do everything in his power possible to force you to try to be an evil person and take the spirit of Cain unto yourself. So what this lesson is trying to tell you is that they will try to force you into your own demise by making an agreement with them and trying to live like them. But the Most High, through his son, Meshikha, is saying, be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. So basically what that is saying is die as a martyr. It's better to die as a martyr so you can get the crown of life than it is to sell out Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, and serve the ones you despise. You cannot have two masters. I'm going to do a refresher course on this next week, because I do hear Israelites teaching about getting their money. You know who controls money? Satan, the spirit of Cain. There is no get your money. For you, it's just be faithful unto death if you're an Israelite. That is what you're living for. This is your test. Because if you pass the test, you're going to get the crown of life in the everlasting kingdom. This is what we're talking about. This is what is at stake. The kingdom of the Most High. Meshikha reigning over the kingdom. And you being a part of that. And having that everlasting life. Not having to deal with these sicknesses in this life. Or these fake sicknesses that are just attacks from energy weapons or electromagnetic pulses. This is what is at stake, so you cannot be forced into your own demise. It is a decision. Either you want the kingdom and you're going to be faithful and you're going to die as a martyr, or you're going to sell out and be scared and be Satan's servant of Satan. Instead of a servant of the Most High, you're going to become a servant of Satan. You cannot serve two masters. All right, so moving on, let's read Revelation chapter 14, verse 12 through 13. Here is the patience of the holy ones, those who keep the commands of the Most High and the faith of Yeshua or Yeshaya or Yahushai or Meshikha. Verse 13, and I heard a voice from heaven that said, right, blessed are the dead from now on who have departed in our Lord. Yes, says the Spirit, because they shall rest from their labors. So you see, these people, they died as martyrs. They refused to sell out. They were faithful until the end, even unto death. And this is why they are going to be blessed. So if you sell out, there is no excuse. There is no excuse. The scriptures clearly tell you to endure and to be faithful until the end, even unto death. Die as a martyr. If you're going to die, die as a martyr. And I just read to you, those that died in the Lord are going to be blessed. They rest from their labors. So let's read. We have to endure. I've done a lesson on this last summer. If you want to go back and check that, we have to endure this captivity, the way we're mistreated here. It gets hard. Trust me. Sometimes I struggle to breathe. They're attacking me so hard. Sometimes I cannot walk in a straight line because they're attacking me so hard. I have this pulse on my head and I can barely see where I'm going. This happens to me. Sometimes I gasp for air because I cannot breathe because they are attacking me so hard. We have to endure until the end and be faithful unto the end. Israel, I'm talking to you. There is no, oh, Satan forced me to sell out. You cannot serve two masters. I cannot say that enough. You cannot serve two masters. I cannot serve them because I despise them because how unlawful they are. All right, so let's read Matthew chapter 24, verse 12 and 13. And because of the abundance of iniquity, the love of many will become cold. This is the time we're living in now. Verse 13, but the one who endures until the end, he will have life. We're going to be tested to the point where we can't breathe. But if we endure until the end, we will have life. Israel, wake up. Stop talking about your money doctrines. It's all about endurance. It's not about succeeding. It's not about buying new clothes. I'm here in the snow in Denver, Colorado, right now in my shorts, my fringe cut shorts that are outlined in blue. I'm lucky that I have two socks without holes in them. I can't afford sweatpants. I can't afford new pairs of socks. Sometimes I can't even afford food. We are here to endure. We are tested like gold is tested, as the scriptures say, as I've read many times before. Last week I couldn't even do a lesson because I lost my voice. I was going to do this lesson last week, but I couldn't because I couldn't speak clearly or even remotely clearly. So this is what we're tested with. You cannot be forced in your own demise. If you choose to accept what Satan's offering you, you're going to accept the spirit of Satan, and woe unto you, because this is your, like Luke chapter 6 says, woe unto them that are rich or wealthy, because they've had their comfort. So you see how it all comes together? And it all starts with money. All of these spirits start with money, the root of all evil. I'm going to do this lesson next week, but I'm going to give some of it now. Money is the progenitor of the spirit of Cain. You know, it comes from the left hand, of course, of the Most High, but money is associated with it. Money has a high responsibility on the chain of command. It has the spirit, and then it's money, and then it's people. And the people will give you the money if you take the spirit and do the evil works. So I hope that you brothers can understand this. We all have to check ourselves, even me. I post a lot of videos where I seem a little bit too prideful. And the reason why I'm prideful is because I overcome the attacks for that day. You'll see time after time where I post a video of me like setting a world record saying, I overcame muscular dystrophy or synthetic muscular dystrophy. Things like that I take a little bit of pride in because I have overcome as the scriptures tell me to do. We have to overcome everything in this world. Overcome all the obstacles in our path. So yeah, we do get a little, raised up to the point where we could be construed as being prideful. So we still have to check ourselves either way, because that spirit of Cain will come into our body. We have the power to control the spirit and to kick it out of our lives. We just have to check everything that we do. Again, nobody's perfect. None of us are Meshikha. None of us are. We're just servants. I'm not even calling myself a prophet. I'm just a servant. But we still have to check ourselves so we don't get too prideful, too competitive, and so on and so forth, because that's just opening the door for that spirit. So I hope this has been edifying. This lesson is for Israel. I've shown you that Not only does Esau have the spirit of Cain, but also the Israelites, our forefathers, had the spirit of Cain. We have to check ourselves. We have to understand, we have to figure out why we have hatred. Do we have hatred because of jealousy and envy? Or do we have hatred because these satanic people are trying to force us into our own demise? Trying to force us to lose our birthright, which is the kingdom of heaven to come on earth. Check yourself, Israel. Figure out why you feel the way that you feel about certain people. I know the reason why I feel the way I feel about Esau. He's trying to make me lose my birthright. So that is the lesson for today. I hope this lesson has pleased the Most High. All praises, honor, and glory to Illaya, the Most High, via his son, Al-Meshikha, the Anointed who died for Israel's sins, and the Rukha, the Holy Spirit that guides us through our lives and through our lessons. Love and respect to the elect, the 144,000, that is the New Jerusalem, that will be called Iisrayiyl. I hope this has been edifying. I put a lot of heart into this lesson. I've been sitting on this lesson for 2 weeks, and I hope that you gain some understanding, or it's been edifying in some way. So love and respect to Israel. Until the next lesson, shalom.